Oh, that's nice. Wanted to check the work hours of the pool, but the phone doesn't work. It's like the cables are in, but no signal around that. I've been a housekeeping manager in the hotel once in Belgium, Antwerp, and I was an extreme perfectionist with it. I went through every detail every single time, and I had to check 60 rooms a day. So I always pay attention to the same things, right? When you actually work in a hotel, you need to check every single drawer uh, of every little cupboard, right? Because sometimes you find an unpleasant surprise in, for example, the bin or in a drawer. And I've actually had colleagues find excrement in drawers next to the bedside. Now, it's better you find it yourself as a housekeeping manager rather than your next guest finding it, right? Because that's irreparable damage, especially if you have a VIP guest, right, or frequently returning guest. So you need to check every single thing. If you hotels is a very very difficult hospitality, very tough profession, no matter what you do in it. Especially the cleaning, right? I've done the cleaning part as well. Making a bed like this requires eventually you'll be muscled up. Trust me, it's not that easy. And I also know why hotels stop doing the minibar. It's because people often cheat with the drinks. Let's say you have vodka, they replace, right? They open it, they put it up back with water, and it's hard to check all of these things. We even have had a Mars in our minibar in the hotel I worked, and then people would actually eat the Mars and fold the wrapper back up as if it looked untouched, right? So you need to check every single thing. You had like 5 to 10 minutes for each room, and 60 rooms in a whole day to check, and it's just impossible, right? Well, I just open up the bed. I'm gonna have a coffee in here, and then I'll go to the pool. And I know a lot of stuff about hotels and hospitality in the sense that I still have habits from working in there that I keep to this very day. For example, I very sparingly use water cookers because I know that people sometimes to clean their underwear and socks boil them in the water cooker. Trust me, they do. Just add a little soap, add your underwear and socks, and boil it up just a little, right? Not fully, but that's how people sometimes clean their underwear, and there's no way you can actually check that. I know it happens, not giving you any ideas, haven't done it myself, but I sparingly make tea. I've gotten over it a little bit, but yeah, things are hardly ever as clean as you imagine them to be, especially not like at home. Also, often cups don't go back to the kitchen and the dishwasher, right? Often they get cleaned with the same sponge as the whole kitchen area. Because imagine you're a cleaner, you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes for a room, times 60, or whatever you divide it with one or two colleagues. You honestly have time to bring all of these cups to the dishwasher in the kitchen, bring them back. No, you don't. There's no time. And there's no separate sponge often. I mean, I'm not saying that's the case in this hotel, right? I'm not giving this hotel any flack. It's actually pretty good. I'm just saying that in hotels you should kind of bring your own water bottle, especially if you stay in. You never know. In the best and the worst hotels, you'd often be surprised. It can swing both ways. That's what I'm saying. And to all in all, it doesn't really matter that much, right? I mean, just enjoy your vacation and don't worry about too much stuff. What I always do, I should make a separate video about safety tricks that I know from hotels. I just always put my do not disturb sign outside, especially if I stay for 1-2 days. I don't need the cleaning. Put a thing outside, people just expect someone's in. When I leave a hotel room, I always I call back inside. I say, yeah, see you later, as if there were someone in there. So if anyone hears me on the hallway, they think that someone's with me, and that there's nothing in my room to take. That's just little things I do. And you don't need to worry about any of these things in Poland or Europe, but I've been to many areas, like I've been sort of a world traveler in the sense that in some countries you do really need to take precautions if you're alone, especially if you're alone, but not necessarily always. You just assume the worst in some cases, and you'll most likely be fine. Sounds a bit dark, but yeah. And it's not to sound snobby, but I often have a threshold for judging 5 stars or 3 stars. For me, 3-star level is having coffee creamer in powder form. 5-star level is having coffee creamer in milk form. Here they have the powder form. So that basically reduces 1 star for me. Because like they say in Russia, so detali, everything is in the details. So the 5-star is the detail, the little fine print, as in you want your coffee milk, all your amenities for good coffee, your little drinks, all of that is 5 stars. And then unfortunately this hotel skims a little bit on that. I'm sorry to say that, but yeah, I'm a hospitality critic. I'm a difficult guest in my perception, but that doesn't mean I give anyone a hard time. Like if the hotel staff asks me, is everything okay? I just say, yeah, having a wonderful time. Just wanted to say the phone is broken for information. And I don't really let anything spoil the day, right? I just want everyone to have a nice time, and I'm lucky to be here, right? I just, if I had a hotel, it would be actual 5 stars, but I know that's hard and expensive to run. Further assessing the hotel, not a huge fan of the black hair in the bathtub, which is definitely not mine. 5-star hotels should have a separate walk-in shower or a separate bath, but shower in a bathtub is no 5-star experience. I've actually seen better shower combos in 2 and 3-star hotels. Surprisingly, there is no shower cap either, which is definitely a disappointment because it's actually what I wanted. Don't really want to wash my hair now. The hair in the bathtub is a faux pas for any hotel because if any surface needs to be cleaned, it is the toilet, the mirror, the sink, and the bath and shower. At least it needs to look very, very clean. It's not, which means that there's being skimping on the housekeeping supervision. Another thing that could be better, I was actually in the steam room today in the sauna, and the steam room wasn't really working. There wasn't much steam coming off, and I pressed a button. I thought it would be the steam release button, but it wasn't because there were some faded out letters that said alarm. So I accidentally pressed the alarm button, which I shouldn't have, but I thought, okay, guess someone will come now, and I probably need to explain that I accidentally pressed it. But no one actually came. So you have a 5-star hotel, you have a steam room and a sauna. Let's say you have a heart attack, you press the button for an alarm. Let's say you have some whatever, and nobody comes. And then I walked out from the spa, and there was actually the employee was on their phone. Probably didn't even get the signal. No, that's not 5 stars. Sorry.